Hey, it's Matt. We're gonna do like a mini course because I've had a few people asking me about my Pixel Fighter character, which is not in this folder. Hang on, my desktop's a mess. Ah, here we go. This one here. I've had a few questions about it, so let's get into it. I'll start from the very start. So this first one is on design. Um, this mini course doesn't get into how to draw. You can work that one out, and I'll leave a link to one of my courses on that. But there's heaps of resources out there. Anyway, um, your first stage is to design your fighting character, and keep in mind that I'm assuming make a 2D fighting game. They're going to be very readable from the side in whatever stance that they're mostly going to take. Um, Here's four of the characters that I drew up for this thing that I was trying to work out ages ago. I really wanted to fight a kind of stance, so that's why I've got they're all on the same stance here, so I just went for that and then drew it out. Now the thing I want to point out is when you're designing your characters, try not to put too many small details because they don't end up translating very well anyway, and just creates extra work for you later. So mostly simple designs, very readable. Try to make the pose easy to understand from a quick glance. And if you got too many small details, it just creates more work. So it's not too bad. So how about we get a pen? Okay, zoom out. The process I sort of take for this thing is I draw up a very quick kind of pose that I want them to sort of sit in. Just making this up. I'm winging it this time. So first thing I do with any kind of drawing that I do is usually chuck in some, like rough it out first. And then I move on to a layer above that to work on it, to do the actual details. I find a pose that I'm happy with first. And this is example, so I'm not going to probably run with this one. It's a crazy stance here. And it's kind of got this like sort of kung fu hand thing going on, but maybe we can do the whole samurai thing. Have the sword behind the back. Anyway, let's pretend I'm happy with this pose, which in reality I'm not really, but it's example. I whack the opacity way down, and then I start doing very rough kind of character designs over the top of that. I've gone with this kind of ninja style thing, so let's give that a go. And usually I think about what I'd want it to sort of look like or achieve in my head before I start working on it, unlike now where I'm just winging it. And I'm not trying to go too detailed on any kind of thing if I can help it. And very likely if I'm unhappy with certain stuff, I'll just go back and remove details anyway. Let's go with some weird, like, just so it's a bit quicker, I can go with like a cyber ninja guy. So it's like pretty much like body tight suit for the moment, with various little armor points on it. Okay. Cool. Normally I'd spend a lot more time coming up with a character before I even went to a stance. I'd be pretty happy with like an idea before I got to this point. Okay, cool. Um, sure. So doing a half decent pixel fighter really involves um, getting a good design happening first, and it's much quicker to work in some sort of. It might even be better to work on paper for this first stage, where you're just trying to rough things out, think of a design, see where you're going with it, and see if you're happy with it. Like, you know, I'm not super happy with this one, but how quick was that? I worked it out pretty quick. Either throw it in the bin or improve it, redesign it, take bits I like from it, and move it on to the next character. It's basic just concept stuff, but the main thing is what I'm also trying to figure out here is a readable stance that works well from the side. So I would just practice a lot at this stage until you're happy with something that you're good with. And you saw how I quickly notched that up with just guidelines. Good thing about that is I can ditch that top part and go, all right, well, I learned some things. I'm still happy with the pose, so I can design something else on top of that. So that's kind of good. So it could be anything. Yeah, it could be really terrible, like this guy. Yeah, cool. This guy might be alright. Just looks more confused and worried that he's a fighter than anything. Anyway, you get the idea. So I can test a lot of different things with one pose very quickly. And with this guy, I'd probably make the hand a lot bigger. Alright, cool. You get the idea. So this is your first step. You're mostly trying to come up with a design that you're happy with. Try to go simple readable sections of the body if you can, simple pose, and so forth. Alright, I'll leave you with that. Next one will be on color.